The moral of the story is that if you're a celebrity or like a really important person, definitely don't tell random teenagers at the video store the personal behind the scenes information on a very important project you're working on. Listen, I've had my fair share of celebrity encounters. I've dapped up A$AP Rocky. I bowed down to SZA. Couldn't help it, I'm sorry. And I'm not even talking about the obvious ones like telling Donald Trump to his face that he's a bigot or meeting Hillary Clinton.
Thank you. Okay, we have, here we go.
Hi, Hillary.
Hello.
Maybe I'll do a video about reflecting on those things soon, but I want to talk about the times when you meet a celebrity and it don't go the way you wanted it to. Of course, we're not counting internet celebrities because I've said all types of things to them. If they come out and say, William Haynes said this, and this to me, believe it, it's true. Probably worse.
Hug me right now. Get over here and hug me right now. Right now, hug me. Okay. That's the best thing that ever happened to me.
Who up here has the most money?
The most fun?
Most fun. Hannah.
Most fun?
Hannah.
I had a lot of fun.
No, most money.
But we're talking about actual people from traditional industry here. I was recently on a podcast with my friend Steve Zaragoza, and I convinced him to tell one of his most embarrassing stories. So he told me this story probably like 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, and it's one of those things that have always stuck with me. And even though this story took place like 15, 20 years before this, I could tell at the time that Steve was still so embarrassed about it. This story happened before anybody knew who Steve was, before I even knew who Steve was. And I'm not talking about the time, what Steve thought I was talking about, one of his most embarrassing celebrity stories was when he was on a podcast with Adam Scott, and he forgot his name.
Hey guys, what is up? It is a special edition of Table Talk. I'm Steve Zaragoza.
I'm Felipe DeFranco.
Franco and the amazing,
The incomparable.
the talented.
I didn't say any of that.
That's a good one.
Oh,
I'm just saying my name,
Go ahead.
which is...
I think he wants to make sure you know.
Do you know who I am?
oh yeah, dude. What are you, nuts? Of course I know.
Come on. I'm gonna...
You're the guy in Krampus, man. You're the main guy. You're like
That would
the
be
guy.
That would be so awesome.
If I really
if
didn't
you
know.
didn't know. Like you had all of this, prepare everything all done.
He's just the last
And
minute fill-in.
you're like, oh fuck, I forgot. Who is this person? That would be amazing.
No, I
That
don't
would
want
be
that.
amazing.
We had a lot of really great guests on Table Talk. Flula, Borg.
Hey guys, welcome to Table Talk, the show where we take your topics, we submit them using the hashtag Table Talk. We submit them, including me, and then we throw them into the bowl using the hashtag Table Talk. You know how it works, guys. We have a very special guest today. In fact, we have 2 special guests. Phil's back for Table Talk.
Oh, yay,
And Flula's
baby.
here.
All right.
And Kanye.
Also,
Yeah.
I want to point out, Will was not supposed to be
No.
on this, but he just forced his
Will
way on.
forced himself
I sat
into the
down.
episode.
Who, like, we never had any rule. Like, why can't I sit down?
Part of me wants to actually hope that you're not in frame.
I know, what if I wasn't the whole time?
Megan Batunchi.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Table Talk, the only show on the internet where we talk about tables to your face. I'm William Haynes.
And I'm Brie Esrig. And I'm Megan Batoon.
They didn't really let me be on the important ones, so I can only talk about the ones I forced myself into. But yeah, I remember they had one with Adam Scott. I had totally forgot this existed.
Have you ever had someone come up to you and they're like, oh, who are you? Like, they don't know your name, but they know who you are?
Yeah. It happened. It happened just like a week ago. I was picking up food at a restaurant, like takeout, and this woman, and it's like a restaurant. So I'm walking through, and so people are down eating dinner, and a lady's just like, "Hey, come here."
Oh, Jesus.
And I came over, and she's like, "You're in something, right? You're in stuff. Who are you?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't know. Because every once in a
I'm pretty sure it's Brian Posehn or whatever his name is, the guy from the Sarah Silverman show. Used to love that show when I was a kid. And that's obviously something you would know, which is
I should have.
But no, your real most embarrassing one you probably haven't even told. So on the internet, so I won't even really say. But pretty much you were like a teenager, and it's the dude from Tim and Eric.
Oh, Eric, dude. Dude, that was during SourceFed.
No. When he like told you something and then
No, Brian Posehn.
Brian
It was
Posehn, that's who it is.
It was Brian Posehn. Because I was a huge Mr. Show fan.
So I'm glad this happened. Yeah.
And the Mr.
that
Show was
way.
a sketch comedy show with David Cross and Bob Odenkirk and Brian Posehn. And I was at Amoeba Records. And I bumped into Brian Posehn. And I was like, oh my God, I'm such a big fan, dude. And they had put out the Mr. Show movie called the Ronnie Dobbs story or something like that. I can't remember what it was called, but the movie came out and there was all this like controversy about the version that came out. And I asked him, I was like, dude, what's the deal with the Mr. Show movie, man? And he's like, he gave me the fucking skinny, dude. He fucking told me everything. That was his fucking fault, man. He told me everything. He told me that the director was like locking them out of the editing room and like, damn. And he was like, they are like no longer friends with him. And this guy directed all their sketches back in the day, like their filmed sketches. And he told me this juicy shit. And what
did you do?
At the time, I was a big fan of Ain't It Cool News, which is a movie website. And I remember thinking like, dude, I wish I could work for Ain't It Cool News, or like I could be a movie reviewer, or I could like give movie scoops. And after he told me that, I was like, dude, I gotta tell someone at Ain't It Cool News the story of what's going on with the Mr. Show movie, because I got it straight from the fucking horse's mouth.
Yeah.
I'm like, people need to know this. People should know this.
Yeah.
And so I wrote out this whole fucking thing and I sent it to the guy at Ain't It Cool News, and they emailed me back and they're like, this is good info, dude. We're going to put this up.
Yeah.
And they fucking said anonymous source says they spoke to Brian Posehn and they said this is the story. And then I got a fucking email from Brian Posehn, dude.
How did he fucking find you?
He must have hit up the site and then hit up and said like, who the fuck is your guy? Anyway, Brian Posehn hit me up and was like, this is why I don't talk to fans. And like, you really betrayed what I told you. And I'm like, oh shit, I fucked up so bad. But I learned a big lesson. But I was also like, shouldn't people know this, dude? People should know if they're being like fucked with.
That's honestly in my top 5 favorite Steve stories, not gonna lie, because I know you would never do something like this now.
No way. I learned I did learn a big lesson, but I was like, I had a scoop. For the first time, I had a scoop.
You had a scoop.
And I went to the the Daily Bugle and was like, Mr. Jameson, I got a scoop.
Yeah. And didn't get paid for it.
No, not at all.
Didn't even get credit.
well, and then so I had to email the Ain't It Cool News guy and was like, or maybe I gave Brian Posehn my info, or maybe he gave me his info. I can't remember.
It was a very long time ago.
I could have done this really cool and became friends with Brian Posehn maybe, but I had to email the Ain't It Cool guys and I was like, please redact so much of this and please. I got hit up and they said they were mad at me and oh man, I fucked up so bad. This sounded like info to share, though. This sounded like info that should be shared.
Well, to anybody who's been on anything before and had stuff go bad and had people interested, sometimes you will meet a person and then you're like, they seem really trustworthy. He's a teenager. Who are you going to tell? And sometimes you need to blow off steam. And sometimes you meet them and you're like, you know what, Steve Zaragoza and Mike Falzone are actually assholes in real life. And you tell them the whole thing.
Yeah,
you tell them the whole thing. Nah, you know what? Who I actually did do that to was Andre Turba from SourceFed.
Oh yeah, the animated SourceFed animated guy.
I met him. I told him all the drama.
It ruined it for him.
And he was like, I knew none of this. I was like, well, we considered you to be a cast member that was never on it. So I
agree.
I agree. And I was like, I might as well tell you everything.
And you don't want to know this shit, man. Just enjoy the shit that made you happy. You don't want to know.
I was like,
this
if you
shit.
want me to stop, I'll stop.
But you know what's interesting, Will? One perspective about the Brian Posehn thing that I want to say is, there's one part of me that's like, if shit went down and you were really upset about it and you couldn't yourself go out and say, this is what's going on, because people will be like, where's the other side of the story, bro? Or like, yeah, right. Well, this doesn't sound real or whatever. I would love for someone to come out and be like, this is what I heard from the horse's mouth. Just to get that information out there, because how else would it get out there? And it's I think, I don't know, it makes them look better that they didn't
makes
have
him more of a
anything.
celebrity. It makes him more of a celebrity. If there's anonymous sources talking about what you say, but no,
Yeah,
like,
then it's important. Yeah,
the lesson is don't tell people. But I think that honestly, sometimes you need to like
that's what I'm saying. That information should be out there.
And during the days, there were probably somebody. Honestly, during SourceFed and Good Mythical, I don't think I ever told a person on. Probably because you told me that story, and I was like, "Don't do something like that."
It was a cautionary tale, yeah.
But like, there's the urge to when someone comes up to you and it's like, "Oh, what do you think about this person?" And I'm beefing with that person, and you're like, "Who do they know?" You really don't want to tell them. You really want to tell them.
Yeah.
Why not?
And a lot of times, the person telling you that shit has already told like 8 other people.
Yeah.
You know, and so they're just like, they just want the story out there.
Yeah.
At that
but
point.
no, huge lesson to him. Like, don't tell.
Yeah, don't
the
say
teenager
shit.
at the comic book store, at the record spot, or you're at the
Amoeba,
movie rental.
yeah, it was Amoeba Records. It was the record
Come on,
shop.
you're at Amoeba Records. Like, he's probably a super fan.
So the moral of the story is, sometimes, even though you're feeling it and you really have something going on burning in your chest, sometimes it's not best to tell a stranger. Sometimes it's okay to keep that stuff to yourself. Sometimes looking back, opening up too much, not being mysterious is a huge mistake. Sometimes the universe wants you to share nothing. There's nothing wrong with that. You might save yourself in a production you're working on a little bit of bad press. So please, leave a like on me and subscribe on me.